So, welcome to another What's Going On, which is presented by Grooveschool and Three Space, where we interview people from within International House. We get a little bit of a lowdown on what they're doing and what they're about. And today I have the lovely ladies from We Rise. We've got Polly and Andrea. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So the usual formula is we ask you a couple of questions, and whoever would like to go first, feel free. Just find out a little bit more about you and what you're into, and people, if they're curious, can find out more later. So for anyone meeting you for the first time, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Are you looking at me, Tahlee?
I am.
Okay. So, I'm Andrea, and my background is in graphic design. And I had a very successful career doing that for about 30 years and working with young people, teaching at foundation and degree level. And that was when I thought, maybe I need to pivot my career a little bit.
Time for something more.
Yes. So that's a little tiny snippet about me.
Hello. So I was an architect for over 20 years in London and did lots of big, small, all sorts of projects all across London, and ended up being running a company with someone, and my kids were getting into being teenagers, and I realised that I was hardly seeing them, and I thought, right, I'll have a little break, and it was really stressful being an architect. I've lived in Lambeth and Stockwell and Brixton for, getting on for 30 years maybe now, and love living here, and seeing my kids grow up here. I thought, okay, whilst I think about what I want to do next, another career pivot similar to Andrea, I joined a lady called Abigail Melville, who founded We Rise. So it was her vision, and she lived on my street, and I thought, I'll help you out. I've run a company, I'll help you set up We Rise. And I've ended up staying ever since.
There we go. Fantastic. And so how did you two meet? Was it actually within the organisation?
It was. Yeah. So with the teaching work that I was doing and working for other organisations that helped young people, I was introduced to Polly, and I ended up helping Polly on a boot camp project about 3-4 years ago.
That was about, time flies.
Yeah.
It's about 2020, end of 2023, I think it was.
So for the actually uninitiated, what does We Rise actually do?
Well, our mission is to empower young people to create successful futures.
Great.
And we do that through delivering high quality work experience projects, and the topic of those projects can be anything, whatever, anyone from the real world. So we deliver real projects for real clients, but what we do is we recruit and pay a group of young people, generally for those projects like 16 to 24, to deliver those projects. And we coach them through it, and we bring in any experts that are needed to help us deliver that project, and our clients are heavily involved. So we run it as you would do any work project. We have a brief at the beginning of the project, and we brainstorm, and we research and come up with what we're going to do, and then we actually make it happen. And the projects are often film creative, right, or they are often research. And what they always are projects that showcase young people's talent and views. They give young people a voice, but they often shine a light on a sector that those young people may not know about for the benefit of other young people like them. And a lot of, 93% of the young people we work with are underprivileged and underrepresented. Right. So we are trying to give them an opportunity to gain really valuable experience they don't get at school, see industries being inspired and gaining insight, and networking and meeting professionals and people from the real world of work, which is absolutely invaluable.
As she said.
As she said. Well, I mean, I wanted to just sort of probably dip into why I wanted to be a part of We Rise, if I may.
Absolutely.
Having worked with big brands for 30 years and just feeling, fantastic seeing my work out there, but just wanting more, as I said earlier, and wanting to give back, thinking about what my career path was and how I ended up being a graphic designer, then working in FE and seeing young kids who looked like me but who didn't have such a linear path as mine, and maybe didn't have the guidance and encouragement and support from their family, just made me really want to give something back. So when I met Polly and started working on that project, it really felt like this is it.
Resonated with you.
Big time, and it was just so rewarding to leave at the end of the day and feel that I'd really helped somebody rather than I'd made loads of money for somebody.
Absolutely. Well, I was going to ask you what moment or experience first pushed you in that direction, but I think you've actually answered that, to be honest with you. So feeling inspired and wanting to help others, push them on a good career path.
I think it's really important to say, because until you actually work in this world, I think a lot of people's experience of young people is not always to value them enough. And often young people are not asked and they're not brought into the conversation. They are dismissed as not having ideas or relevant insight. And the adults always seem to think, well, I know how to do it. And actually, one of the things that we do is we always empower the young people to come up with their ideas. We often know how we would do the projects. That's not the point.
But you give them autonomy.
And also young people have the most amazing, fresh, inspirational, valuable ideas. They're not kind of downtrodden by, the system so much. And we always end up with, at the end of our project, and kind of go, oh my God, they were the most amazing group of people we've ever worked with. Even though, like we said that the last time, every time we meet another group of young people, they're just fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's because we do put them in the driving seat.
Gives them the confidence to...
Yeah.
Absolutely, just to have a voice, and we see them blossom and grow in confidence. And
they don't get that opportunity enough. I mean, people design things for young people
without
engaging them.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Just because you were a young person, you don't have the same experiences as a young person now.
No. I was going to say, with the pace of technology as well, a lot of these young people are probably very, very savvy, but they're being excluded from the things that they're meant to be sort of essentially shaping their world.
Yeah, I mean, they are very savvy, but sadly, a lot of them don't have the money at their disposal to actually engage in a lot of those things. Like, they don't have computers, they might not have phones, various things like that. So, that's where we can offer them an opportunity to delve into that.
And they don't have access to, if you don't have people around you in your household or in your immediate environment who do a variety of roles that may be more aspirational than the people around you have had the opportunity to do, how are you going to know that you would maybe want to do that, or what it is even about?
Exactly.
And there's no, people should be given, everyone should have equal access to opportunity.
Absolutely. So, given that you're helping empower young people, what is driving you right now? What's at the heart of your mission, and what are you striving to create?
The world is changing very fast, and I don't think I need to tell anyone that. And I think whilst everyone who's not used to very sophisticated technology is grappling with it as it's changing so rapidly, young people have been brought up on it. And one of the things that we're quite interested in is making sure that they are given the opportunity to use their inherent skills. There's a lot of negativity about young people in technology. Yeah, fair enough. But also what we have to acknowledge is that young people are potentially absolutely brilliant at a lot of the things that some of the older people in the world.
Problem solving.
And whilst everyone hates change, young people embrace it really quickly. And we're just quite interested in how that can benefit them and helps give them the stepping stones to kind of
move
springboard
forward.
even
Yeah.
beyond.
Yeah. I mean, as Polly said, they've got those skills, and we're trying to, look at it in a positive way and pull out those skills that will benefit them in the future in terms of work opportunities. Yeah.
Good work. Good work. So, what does your organisation offer the community, and what impact are you most proud of so far with what you've been working on?
Well, there might be something from the past before I joined you.
I know of a few things I can think of. I'd just like you to put it out there.
What? Well, we are born from our community. We come from our community, and we're responding to our community's needs. We are so immersed in our community, sometimes it is hard to acknowledge what you're actually doing.
I suppose when you're immersed in it, it's hard to see.
It is hard, but we've been in this building since it opened in 2019, and we have worked collaboratively with a lot of people in this building.
Exactly.
And I think that is one of the key positives. I think that the consistent positive is collaboration, sharing. I think also one thing that we really like to do is look forward rather than back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Things happen, things don't sometimes work, things might be like a bit of treading water, but actually there's something out there.
And you've been involved in some really interesting community projects.
We have.
Are we talking My Life Science and things like
do you want us to talk about some of our projects?
Please, yeah.
Well, all our projects are kind of outward facing. We've done lots of youth insight projects. We do a lot of research to find out what young people think today and what impacts them, and that is often related to the communities around them, what they need from their communities. We've also done projects that are really immersed in the local environment in Lambeth and Southwark. So what future career opportunities and the growth in emerging sectors, particularly to do with life sciences, which it's always great to learn ourselves on a project.
Yeah. We learn a lot.
We learn a lot, which is great. But, we've had a lot of time in our previous careers to take, our jobs involved taking briefs for new things and learning them and then regurgitating them, I suppose, for other people to then contribute to. So that kind of seeing how the community is changing and growing is fascinating, and tapping into those members of the community, or trying to, who don't often get a voice.
Exactly.
I think there's a lot of people that make a lot of noise about things that they don't like, but actually they're pretty much a small minority, and there are a lot of people that just got their heads down getting on with stuff because that's all they can do, and trying to find ways to get those people's views and opinions out
to break through
is really important.
Doing good work. Very good work. So, in terms of what's coming next, what should we look out for, and how can people support you, get involved, or stay connected with you?
There's always lots.
Well, we are. What's really nice is that we've been going for so long. We started in 2016. That we now have lots of young people who we've known, some of them since not long after that, if not then. And then now young people in their 20s, and we keep in touch with them, which is fantastic. And we often reconnect with them. It's really wonderful to see what they've become.
You've offered them a springboard.
And they coming on. A lot of them are coming out the other side of education, higher education. It's tough for young people at the moment. Everyone hears about it on the news all the time, but it's really difficult. But actually, what's wonderful is that we have this group of alumni that we can tap into and we can engage. We employ our alumni as much as we can, but also we can hear from them about what they need. So we're now extending who we work with. So we do an in-school program for 13-year-old starts with. And now we're going to be working really actively with our alumni who are some in their like mid-20s.
Amazing. So the continuation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's great. So you don't just drop off a cliff
We
when it comes
don't.
to a certain
No.
point. You keep.
No, yeah, we invite them back, and we like to keep those relationships going.
Wonderful. And if people want to get in contact with you, do you have a website or do you have an Instagram or anything you'd like to share?
We have both.
Yes, We Rise Brixton for both. Just Google that.
I'm sure people can Google that for you. Is that We Rise Brixton?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That's us.
Excellent. Well, it's been lovely talking to you today. I'm going to ask you a couple more little extra questions, just a little bit more, just to see more about yourselves.
Okay.
So have you done this, as in We Rise, differently to any other business you've had? And have you taken some elements of those businesses with you, like the architecture and the graphic design? Have you brought those with you into We Rise, do you feel?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. I think in terms of, for both Polly and myself, having worked on, quite serious projects within architecture and graphic design, we bring the sort of approach to those projects into what we do here with our young people. So I think that allows us to really produce quality work, quality workshops.
Discipline and structure.
And we're all about quality for the young people.
Yeah.
And a sense of responsibility for delivering and then celebrating the outcomes and the achievements.
Yeah.
Great.
And also I think that one of the biggest surprises for me from going from one sector to another, a sector where you have to be an expert, you have a lot of responsibility as an architect. I mean, if somebody dies, potentially you could be charged,
Right.
in relationship to
Very
a building
serious.
that it's a very serious profession and rightly so. And so you're always, but the person that people defer to, so as if you have to know everything. And actually coming to work with We Rise, I had to shed all that because it is very easy to
Get bogged down.
to know. What I was going to say was to know the answers to everything, but it doesn't matter if I know the answers. It's what the young people want to say, and it's really
Less burdened.
liberating to not have to. We're responsible for delivering things, but we coach, and the young people have the responsibility as well because we run things as a real work project, and that's what they're learning. They're learning how, work ready skills, and actually, it's really easy to sort of step back and go, well, what do you think? It doesn't matter. I don't care what I think about that anything anymore. It's like, what do young people think? They're the future. It's really important that we know what they think about things because we are giving them this, whatever it is, situation.
Exactly. Yeah, amazing. And just a little bit, how did you arrive at International House? What was your journey to Three Space?
Well, we were working off our founder Abigail's kitchen table until We Rise came along. So we came to we must have heard about it probably through the council, and I think the original person in your position, Tahlee, met us and showed us round, and we went to the open kind of thing when Harry and Andrew. We came to the opening when Harry and Andrew talked about it, and it was like, wow, this looks amazing. And I had to say, we had to sit in hats and gloves for the first few months because it was so cold in here. And then slowly, loads and loads more people have come. We sat next to loads of the organisations who are still here, which is wonderful, and on our floor, on the 6th floor. And it's been transformational.
The networking is something that's incredibly special about this place.
And the people, just the lovely people. We don't obviously work with everyone, but it's just so nice.
Yeah, I think when you walk through the door, there's a positive energy. I mean, that energy is palpable, and that's what I love about it. Yeah.
It is one of the nicest places I've ever worked, and that's because of the people.
Yeah.
It is the people that make it.
Thanks to the Three Space staff.
Yeah, thank you.
We try. And just a little less formally here, it's because obviously you're both get out and about Brixton ladies. Is there anything happening locally that we should know about, or any special places you'd like to share? Any secret places you'd like not to share, but you're willing to share?
My place is not very secret, but I absolutely love Brixton Rec.
Ah.
I love swimming. I've always loved that swimming pool. I've been in a lot of swimming pools in my years, and
That holds a special
it's
place.
just you don't often get a swimming pool designed with that space. You just don't get that space with actual windows out. And I know lots of people who think it's really grotty and blah blah blah, but it is an amazing space to swim. I love swimming. I probably swim anywhere, but I love going there.
I suppose it's not a secret place at all, but the Ritzy, I love going to the cinema, and I
It's a special
love,
place.
oh my goodness, the Screen One is
Screen
my
One.
favourite place to see a film, and if I have time during the day, I love to go
That's
to an
nice.
afternoon
little
film.
matinee.
Screen One, I've got my own seat that I always book,
I have a favourite seat there too.
and it's just amazing.
Wonderful.
There
Well,
must
thank
be-
you
there
for
must
those
be
little
somewhere
tips.
else.
Why must
We can't
there
give
be?
away all our secrets, though,
Why-
can
why
we?
must there
Share
be
one.
that?
One more. Come on, one more.
Well, if we're not working, we're often found in a certain part of the
watering
market,
hole
a watering
in
hole in the
Brixton
market.
Village.
But we're not telling anyone where
Is that the one that begins with F?
Yes,
It might
it
do.
is.
All right, okay.
Yeah,
All right,
so
well, we'll keep that. If anyone wants to inquire further, they can
Yeah,
inquire
yeah.
directly via you then. How's
they
that?
can do.
we might tell you.
Wonderful. Well, look, thank you so much for coming along today and telling us about We Rise and your hopes for the future and plans and empowering young people, and enjoy being part of the Three Space community.
Thank you, Tahlee.
Pleasure. You've been listening to the What's Going On podcast here at Grooveschool at Three Space International House.